Time for the 49ers Rush Podcast.
We come to a very crucial point in the roster countdown, and we go through and we track where every player was ranked last year as opposed to this year, what things changed, all those things. And this brings us to number 61 on our 2023 roster countdown, and that's Ambry Thomas, cornerback. Now, he's interesting because he has the biggest or the largest fall from last year to this year. Last year, Ambry Thomas was number 28, top 30 on our countdown. This year, 61, outside of the 53-man cutoff, fighting for a way in. And how did he go from being an NFC championship starter, made one of the most, probably the number one play of the entire year, the walk-off interception in overtime against the eventual Super Bowl championship Rams, and to where he is now? And that's kind of what we want to figure out. So, shout out to Josh, the 49ers guru, who's just crushed this entire series. Now, Ambry Thomas is interesting, okay? Let's just be aware. Jersey number 20, 6 foot 190, a little bit smaller than what the Niners want. They want that 6 foot 200. He's a little bit light, and it shows up on film. I think the number one thing that Ambry Thomas has struggled with is physicality. And whenever that shows up in weight, that's an issue. He's 23 years old, very young. Definitely career's not over or, finalized or whatever, but something's got to change. Honestly, something has to change with this kid. Now, he's got 32.25-inch arms. That's great for a cornerback, top 78th percentile. He ran a 4.41 40. That's great, 78th percentile. Didn't do the 3-cone, 38-inch vertical, that's 75th percentile. So athleticism's there. 10-2 broad jump, 15 reps, awesome. If you plug in, everything that he does as far as measurables, two of his best comps are DJ Hayden and Devin McCourty. There's a place for this athleticism, size, weight, all those things in the NFL. But the play style doesn't match that of McCourty or maybe even Hayden. Now, he's from Detroit, Michigan, played at Martin Luther King High School, the Crusaders, graduated from the University of Michigan, College of Literature, Science, and Arts. He was a 4-star recruit, and if you just look at everything that he was able to accomplish, he came out of high school, 3-year letterman, goes to Notre Dame, showed up early. Special teams player early on, was special teams player of the week for the Big Ten early on in his career. Then in 2019, he was the defensive skill player of the year, academic all Big Ten in 20. What he's done, he's a smart kid. He's a very smart kid, works really, really hard. Special teams contribution his entire career. Now, as a Wolverine at Michigan, 39 games, 13 starts at cornerback, all Big Ten honoree, all these things. Now, what is he going to do at this stage in his career? You've got a new defensive coordinator come in, kind of tab the godfather of defensive backs. And so if he's going to be successful with the 49ers, it's going to be this year or no year. And if things don't go well at training camp, he 100% could be out of this roster. Not saying that's what I want or what I'm predicting. I'm saying he's got to make up some ground. Steve Wilkes came out this year and said, Ambry Thomas has had a great camp. He's been doing great, but we got to wait and see until the pads come on. That's the true question mark. Because his entire career, even whenever he was playing well with the 49ers, he's always in good position, but just never really quite made the play. And that's always kind of been the knock on him. Now, he was drafted in the 3rd round, one of the many compensation picks, I believe. 3rd round, pick 39 by the 49ers in 2021. Now, if we look at what he's accomplished just statistically, 36 tackles, 1 tackle for loss, 5 pass breakups, 1 interception. That was a huge one, though. And he's missed 3 total games because of an ankle injury in 2021. That's it. 5 starts. We assume because he played in the NFC Championship game and started that he kind of, I don't want to say earned isn't the right word, but his stripes have not come. It just hasn't happened yet. 5 starts, it doesn't matter how important they are. He doesn't have a lot of snaps under his belt. And whenever you look at other corners on this roster, guys like Miles Hartsfield, that literally have like 800 plus snaps on top of what he's done in about the same amount of time. It just complicates things. Now, he's played in 27 games, okay? So we got 2 really good years to look at. 2021, he played 483 snaps, but he didn't really get a start until week 7 on. Missed a couple games, came back, played in the playoffs. He had 99 special team snaps that year, but his numbers weren't great. PFF scores from 2021, 54.2 overall defense, not good. 57.2 run game, not good. 68.9 tackling, that's great. 58.4 coverage, not good. And again, he allows a very high completion percentage. That's what the Niners don't want. Whenever they target their corners, ball skills are a plus, but they want difficult, routine catches for wide receivers. They don't want to give up easy completions. He allowed in 2021 29 receptions on 42 targets for a 69% completion percentage. 4 touchdowns, 1 interceptions, 4 pass breakups, 5 penalties. That's a 124.8 NFL rating when he's targeted. That's terrible. That's awful. Then you go into 2022, he goes from 483 snaps in 2021 to 41. Literally 1/10 of snaps, and almost all those were in garbage time. They phased him out. Like, he lost whatever battle. Demo, Samuel Womack just freaking catapulted above him in the depth chart. And if you look at the preseason, that's why. He played 157 snaps in the 3 preseason games, 11 receptions on 14 targets at 78.6% completion percentage in 2022. Now, I know it's preseason, but good Lord, you're getting torched in the preseason? That ain't going to work. It's not going to work. Now, how does he make this roster? He's got to win out cornerback 5 or 6. And the problem is he's an outside corner only. Doesn't provide versatility. Niners have a premium on physical corners. He hasn't developed in that area either. So if we look at the cornerback landscape, Charvarius Ward, Diamador Lenore, who was drafted behind him the same year, and Isaiah Oliver. Those are the projected starters currently. That's 3. The 2 backups, Samuel Womack, he's not going anywhere. So good on special teams. Darrell Luter, their highest corner drafted rookie this year, he's going to get a shot. So that leaves, listen to these guys that are fighting for a possible. The Niners might choose to only keep 5. If that's the case, it's kind of already locked up. But if they do keep 6, now you've got Ambry Thomas, Quantrez Knight, Miles Hartfield, Deshaun Jameson, Trey Swelling. You got 5 guys fighting for what could be a mythical 6th spot. It might not even exist. Somebody's going to have to flash. Competition brings greatness. And if Ambry Thomas is going to make this roster, he's not only got to perform better than he has at any point in his career so far, he's got to beat out Quantrez Knight, Miles Hartfield, Deshaun Jameson, and Trey Swelling. And you got to remember, this defensive coordinator didn't pick Ambry Thomas. He didn't. He did pick Miles Hartfield. He did pick Deshaun Jameson. He did pick Trey Swelling. So Quantrez Knight and Ambry Thomas, they're fighting their way into the good graces of this new defensive coaching staff. And on top of that, Hartsfield, he was handpicked by Steve Wilks to come over here. He started 3 years for him. Quantrez Knight's ahead of him because he plays so many different positions in special teams. Ambry Thomas, not a great special teamer. He's good. He's not great. So the physicality, that's a strike against him. The lack of versatility, that's a strike against him. But don't count him out. In the biggest play of this guy's career, walk-off interception against the eventual Super Bowl champs. And I think that plays a role. Now, if he doesn't make the 53, which I'm probably going to say, like if I was a betting man, I'd say I don't think so. But if he doesn't make the 53, does not mean his time here is over. Could come back on a possible practice squad. I think he'd probably be picked up, and I hope that he would just for his own career. I want nothing but the best for Ambry Thomas, especially for, helping us get into the playoffs that year, eventually to the NFC Championship game. But if he wants a home here for the 49ers, this training camp, you could make the argument he has the most important training camp of any person on this 91-man roster for the 49ers in 2023. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Excited to see what 20 can bring this year. We've seen the good. We've seen the bad. We just got to get more consistent, more physical. So go get them, Ambry. Excited to see what you can bring. And for us, we're just going to keep counting them down.